Well, what do you think that their big discussion was centered on?
10% for the big guy?
Well, I mean, yes. But I mean, you would think, what are some of the big issues that have happened involving China as of late?
Well, they've been helping out Russia. They've been threatening Taiwan. I think even Hong Kong has been threatened as well. They're creating a whole different currency system at the moment. And they manipulate their own currency that's currently being used in the global market to, of course, benefit China to the detriment of the rest of the world. Anything else you need? Or?
COVID.
Oh, yeah, COVID, too. Of course, COVID.
I mean, it seemed there's a lot of big issues there.
Yeah.
And you know what their big one was? Climate change. They're gonna talk about climate change. I have some questions. That's just a dumb. That's dumb. I'd like to have faith that my government would say, no, we're going to talk about this lesser issue, but then privately we actually talked about these big issues and we really gave them what for. But you know that didn't happen. And not with this administration. I don't believe that happened privately, nor has it happened publicly, as we've seen. It's just dumb to sit here and sit across from China. I understand you have to try to maintain relations to keep everybody from popping off, but you don't even bring up these other issues. That just is a sign of weakness. You don't bring up someone else's offenses because you're worried that if you bring it up, then the accusation of keeping the peace or breaking the peace is going to fall on you. Wouldn't it fall on the people who committed the offenses to start with? That's such a gaslighting, emotionally abusive narrative. To not ask them, why do you keep making these overtures towards Taiwan? Taiwan isn't a part of you. They're their own country. Can we just stop with this stupid vagary? That would be great. Or can you stop messing with bats? It'd be awesome. Stop messing with bats. Can you tell us what you put in this thing? I don't know. I mean, there's a million things, but you're going to sit across from the number one polluter in the world and talk about your green agenda. I don't know. Maybe they had to talk about their recent acquisition of that mine in People's Democratic Republic of Congo, the big cobalt mine that Joe Biden and his family firm helped. They partnered with Beijing and helped finance that and facilitate that acquisition. Isn't that weird? You have the guy who runs the Communist Party and runs Beijing sitting across from the guy whose company partnered with, and it is his company because the Bidens are all in it. According to the emails with Hunter Biden and his brother and everybody else, let's stop acting like he's not. He's sitting across from the guy who happens to be the president of the United States, who worked with a bank that his communist government created and backs in order to facilitate their acquisition of the world's biggest cobalt mine for quote unquote green. China's not green. They just want to control all of the green stuff that Europe and the United States use. Do you see how bougie this is? How ridiculously pretentious this is? All these other people want to bend the knee for this new redistribution of wealth and influence by controlling energy. And so we're going to do EV everything. We're going to have electric everything. And we're going to need all of these materials that we don't control at all. So China's just buying up influence. If you move to a source of energy that China holds a monopoly on, guess what? Guess who runs stuff? I bet that didn't come up in the conversation on climate. No, they're going to sit here and listen to the United States, which has always led that stuff on that being super polluting. They're going to pretend that China's matching them. They're building coal plants like crazy. It's just such a weird, that the fact that they're talking about that's the discussion. Did they have to agree to that in order to get Xi Jinping to come to the table?